All right, today's lesson is lessons 2 and 3. We combined both lessons. Lesson 2 was about 3 as a factor, and lesson 3 is about the number 4 as a factor for multiplication work. So here we go. Let's start with knowing our 3's. And if we refer to our distributive property, we know that we could take that 3, that factor of 3, and break it down into what two numbers? Well, we know that 2 plus that 1 would be that 3. So I still would take that 2 and say 2 times 5. And then I take that 1 and say 1 times 5. And this is just a strategy to help you figure out how you could solve for your 3 as a factor. Well, 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 times 5 is 10. And what you want to do is you want to put it back together, and 5 and 10 put back together gets you 15. So 3 times 5 is 15. And if I clear this here, let's take a look at, say, 3 as a factor again, times 8. Well, we would break it down into 1 times 8 and 2 times 8. And I get 1 times 8 equals 8 and 2 times 8 equals 16. Now I add those two together. 8 plus 16 is 24. 3 times 8 equals 24. What I'd like you to think about is for tomorrow's lesson, if you know 2 times 7 is 14, how can you figure out what 3 times 7 is? But if you already know that 2 times 7 is 14, how can you figure out 3 times 7? And for lesson 3, we'll talk about 4 as a factor. Well, 4 we know you can separate into 2 plus 2. Which would mean we would take 2 times 5, and then that other 2 times 5 using our distributive property of multiplication. Both happen to be 10s. So that 4 is a double set of doubles. 2 means double, and a 4 is 2 sets of doubles. I had one set of double 5s. I have another set of double 5s. And 10 and 10 would get me 20. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 4 times 9. And I said, oh, that's a big one. I could use our finger method for 9s, but I also want you to remember that the 4 is the same as 2 times the other factor, and 2 times the other factor again. 2 2s. You say that really fast. 2 2s. And we get 18 for both of those. And we add the 18 and we get 36. So for tomorrow's lesson, I want you to determine and be able to explain for also your quick check in class is the problem 4 times 8. How can you use 2 sets of 2 to determine and find the answer to 4 times 8? Also, don't forget, how does 2 times 7 help you find 3 times 7? Be prepared to give your answer in class tomorrow.